everybody, welcome back. My name is Chef Rob. Today we are going to make a baked shrimp scampi tetrazzini casserole. It has a lot of little different mushrooms, shallots in there, a little cream. Please use a regular heavy cream compared to a milk or a 1% milk because it really will make a difference with the coating of the pasta. Okay, the first thing we want to do is boil some water. Make sure it's well salted, and we're going to drop our pasta in there. We're going to put in 1 pound of spaghetti, and we're going to cook it to what the directions are on the package. It's about 8 to 10 minutes. We want it just to be a little al dente because we are going to cook it in the oven as well. Okay, so let's just drop this into some boiling water. So we're going to use a full stick of butter in this recipe, but we're going to use it in little segments. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, put it into a heavy skillet. Okay, heavy skillet, heavy pot, anything like that. We're going to let that cook. We're going to take some mushrooms. I'm using the baby Bella mushrooms. We're just going to take these little ends right here off, and we are going to slice them. Make sure you give them a quick shower, meaning just put them in a colander and really spray them really good, but don't soak them in water. Okay, and then just take a paper towel to get them dry and get any excess mud, dirt, anything like that off of it. So we're using 1 full pound of the baby Bella mushrooms. So our butter is starting to melt. Don't let it burn. Okay, we're going to have it on a medium-high heat. I'm going to start slicing the mushrooms. Start adding them right into the butter. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt, about a ½ teaspoon. A few grinds of black pepper in here. And I'm going to finish slicing the mushrooms. Use all of them. If you like a different type mushroom, it will work well. And then just kind of stir them around every once in a while. You're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes, just till they get soft and they kind of give up some juice. This is perfect to have if you make the night before and then you bake it off when you get home from either work or a day out the next day. That works really well. And then dinner is done. Let's just give this a nice stir. And this is just going to cook for about 5 minutes. Okay, as the mushrooms are cooking, let's prep our other vegetables. So we're going to start cooking the shallots. Cutting the shallots. We're going to take 1 large shallot. Shallots are nice and mild. Make sure when you buy them they're nice and firm on the outside. Just kind of give it a little slit right there. Just peel this, and we're going to dice this really small. We're going to leave all of the garlic and the shallots to the side until the mushrooms have given up some liquid. Okay, I like to just take the shallots because they're nice and flat, just like this. Cut it almost all the way through, and then be careful, just turn it like this. Don't get your finger, and then just kind of give it a nice little mincing. Just like that. We're going to leave that to the side. I'm going to take a little bit more shallot. This recipe will be great all year long, perfect for during the holidays when everybody is busy, during the winter for a comfort food, really good like that. Summertime, we all like seafood, just a perfect all-around dish. Okay, so it's kind of like 1 large shallot, and now we're going to use 4 cloves of garlic, but I'm just going to take 2 for this part of the recipe. As you can see, the mushrooms are giving up the liquid here. Okay. So we are going to add in the shallots. Add that right in here. We're going to put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of the red pepper flakes. That's if you like just a little bit of heat. It just kind of livens it up just a little bit. Give that a nice stir. And we're going to cook the shallots, the mushrooms, the garlic for about 4 more minutes now. And we're going to mince this garlic here. Nice and small. Again, don't overcook the pasta because it is going to be finishing off in the oven. If you are making it right now, you would want to turn your oven on to 450 degrees. Okay, so pretty high heat, but it gets done in 10 minutes after we're done prepping this. Okay, let's just stir this around. And now let's take 1 cup of dry white wine, dry vermouth. Any of that would work. We want 1 full cup. So pour this in here. And just a little more. We're going to let this cook. And we're going to bring it to a boil and let it cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. We want it to almost cook all the way through to evaporate. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a boil now. It's going to have really nice flavor. We want to get it again to where it's reduced just about complete. So this is just about all evaporated. So now you want to take 2 tablespoons of butter. Let it completely melt in with the mushrooms and the shallot mixture. So let's get that melted. And then we're going to sprinkle it with a 1/4 cup of flour, and that's going to kind of make a roux. A roux is a thickening agent. Just let that cook down. Again, just keep after it. You don't want anything to stick to the bottom. And I'm going to get my 1/4 cup of flour. Just kind of shake it pretty close to even. With this butter here melted all the way. This has a great smell to it. So we're just going to add in the flour. Okay. Lower it so you don't burn the flour. You're just going to get it really mixed. If you got to kind of lift it off the burner just a little bit. And now I want to get 3 cups of heavy cream. We're going to pour that right in here. Perfect. Let's add that right in. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of salt, kosher salt. Some grinds of fresh ground black pepper. And then we want the juice of 1 lemon. We're going to let this simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes until it's starting to thicken. Take the lemons out until they're room temperature to get the most lemon out of it. I'm just going to cut it in half. Put it in this juicer. Put this right in here. This really helps to get all that juice out. And the remaining half of the lemon. Again, we're going to let this simmer. Just keep stirring it every once in a while. Just about 6 to 8 minutes. So while this is reducing to a nice thick consistency, let's take some melted butter, so 4 tablespoons of butter. So the extra part of the butter you have, put that into the microwave. Just melt that just like that. We're going to add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You want a half cup of the panko. The panko is really good for this. So just about a half cup. And then just kind of toss that around and get it really nice and coated. Just kind of take it just like this, and you're just going to set this on the side, okay? And you could put a little bit of black pepper in here as well if you like. This can make a nice, crunchy, golden covering. So our sauce is getting nice and thick right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pasta that is all finished. We're going to add the pasta in here, and we want to just kind of mix it around just until it's really coated well. So we're going to add in the hot pasta right into the sauce here. Make sure you toss it really well. You can keep it on low. And we're going to add in 1 full cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Make sure you grate your own. It will have the best taste and flavor. Mix that around really well. And now we're going to put this into a 3-quart casserole dish. Don't forget to have that oven turned on to 450 so that it's ready to go. Make sure all that cheese, everything from the bottom gets really tossed really well. Okay, I'm turning my burner off. I'm going to give this a quick spray, not too much, just enough to kind of coat the pan so it doesn't stick. We're going to take this pasta right here, put this right in here. And this will feed a nice hungry family in between about 6 people, I would say. Serve a nice salad with it, some crusty bread. Okay, so we're going to take 1 pound of large shrimp and just put them into a bowl. And we're going to make it to use 10 tablespoons total of the butter. So take 2 more tablespoons of butter, put it in the microwave, just melt it, and we're just going to kind of coat the shrimp with the butter, and then we're going to grate some garlic on it. Okay, let's take our remaining 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to take about 2 tablespoons worth of fresh garlic, and we're just going to kind of zest it in here, kind of coat the shrimp with it. So you can have garlic butter on the shrimp. And these are small cloves, so I'm going to use an extra one. And then we're going to put a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper, about a ½ teaspoon of salt and a few grinds of black pepper. Okay, just tap everything off. Give this a good toss. Put a little bit of the salt in there. Some of the fresh ground black pepper. And just toss this around really well. And just kind of stagger them out just so they're not touching each other. That way everybody gets an even amount of shrimp. And then we take our panko mixture and we're going to put that on top. We're going to bake it in the oven, 450 degrees, 10 minutes. Before you do sit down to enjoy it, let it rest for about 10 minutes. Let all the flavors kind of come together. And then just sprinkle it with a little bit of fresh parsley or fresh basil. Fresh basil would be great too with this. So this is a very hearty meal. Take this panko topping. So this is about a ½ cup. Just kind of sprinkle this on here. Just kind of make sure you evenly distribute it all over. It's going to get a nice golden brown to it. going to be delicious. Okay, perfect. So let's put this in the oven for 10 minutes. Put it towards the lower rack. Keep an eye on the crumbs that they don't burn. You just want to make sure the shrimp are cooked all the way through. And 10 minutes for a large shrimp, they will be cooked all the way through. So this is our baked shrimp tetrazzini casserole. I hope you will make this, and thank you for always watching. Before we go, you got to finish it off with a little fresh parsley. So just take a little parsley, give it a nice chop. Just sprinkle that right on top for a little bit of color, like this, and let it sit for 10 minutes and then enjoy it. Everybody enjoy.